Hello and welcome. You're watching Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. This is a special episode because it brings you the best of Avantha Masters, massive prize money, some big stars, and of course an exclusive interview with Jeev Milkha Singh. I'll start with the top stories we're tracking on the show this week. Our top story is the Avantha Masters 2012 action and the big win for Jbe Kruger.
I need to thank all you members for letting us play here. Thank you so much.
We're very lucky to have so many big tournaments around the world.
In news, Bill Haas wins at Riviera in a dramatic three-way playoff over Phil Mickelson and Keegan Bradley. We also have news on Lindsay Wright, who wins New Zealand's Women's Open. We may skip the golf tip, but we have a pro pit, and the special guest is Jeev Milkha Singh.
The most important thing is the club, the way you've placed it, it's got to come back the same way to your ball. The ball is your target.
He's a young man, all of 25, and this victory might have meant a lot more than just his first kiss. Jbe Kruger is the one man who took back not only massive pocket money of 1.8 million euros, but he also managed to get himself a serious story out there with his first European tour. Having won a few times on Sunshine Tour as well, gave him a bit of a backup, going away from being the bridesmaid that he's been to head to the mantle. Here is a special report on Jbe Kruger. The perennial bridesmaid finally stood at the mantle this time, as the ever-elusive trophy finally got into the hands of James Barry Kruger, lovingly called JB. His first European Tour victory at Avantha Masters in Delhi is all set to become a game-changing point for the 25-year young lad. A precise chip from a few steps in the rough from the 18 green got him beautifully near the pin. JB kept up the lead by shooting a 3 under 69 for a two-shot victory at the DLF Golf Club, made 4 birdies and overcame a bogey on the 17th to finish with a 14 under total of 274, all during 4 days in Delhi during Avantha Masters. In a bright pink tee, he couldn't escape all the attention for his first European Tour win, especially since he seemed a winner from the very first tee off.
Probably when I got to 15, 14. Now I think I knew I had a pretty good chance the whole day.
Kruger had come close to winning on many occasions, especially in 2010 when he had to settle for the runner-up spot 3 times. But with this win, the wait might have been worth it. Kruger looked up to the skies and thanked God for finally getting him this prestigious #1 position. Here's what Kruger's victory lap looks like. With the European Tour and Asian Tour wins coming in through the Avantha Masters, he's managed to bag himself 2 Sunshine Tour wins in Africa. With a great kick-off to the year, this is going to be the perfect reason to better the rest of the season.
On the Asian Tour specifically, I think my main goal is to try and win all the merit. I think this is definitely going to help me towards that. I think on the European Tour, try to stay inside the top 60 and then just maybe try and get as high as I can on the world rankings.
Germany's Marcel CM reflected his sentiment visibly as he squared off the tournament's second, shared with Spain's Jorge Capillo. With the richest Indian tournament at 1.8 million euros and $300,000 in Kruger's pocket, he's going to go beyond getting rich to just enrich his game. And while everyone thanks God and girlfriends, Kruger remembers the groundsman in his victory speech.
DLA Golf Course for us to play on. I think I need to thank all you members for letting us play here. Thank you so much.
Kruger, who picked up the winner's prize check 1.8 million euros, has now moved to the top of the Asian Tour Order of Merit and, of course, getting his rankings upwards in the European Tour. David Horsey may never have picked a cricket bat, rather unusual for an Englishman, but he was quick to learn golf, which is why he's driving on courses across the world. I caught up with him on what would be his favourite club in the bag and a 4-ball that he'd die to do anything to get.
Started off well today and then a bit of a wobble in the middle, but yeah, finished strong there with 3 birdies in the last 4, so yeah, it's kept me right in there.
What got you into golf in the first place? Was it dad? Was it friends? Just watching the game? Because a large number of people really need to be taken to the course to start playing it.
Sure, yeah, my granddad actually got me into it. Mum and dad aren't really that sporty, so my granddad started caddying for my granddad when I was about 12, 13 years old, so he got me hooked on it, and yeah, it's just taken from there really. I got quite good and enjoyed it, and yeah, turned it into a career, so yeah, it's great fun.
But it's not easy in the initial years, right? When you start thinking of it to be able to be living off golf in a sense.
No, it's not as easy as it looks. I mean, a lot of people see it as hitting a white ball around the field, which is a little bit more than that, especially with the pressures that we put ourselves under playing tournament golf. But yeah, but a lot of it's mental, I think, and you know, a lot of guys are very talented and don't make it just because they can't sort of get to grips with the game in their head. So yeah, it's hard work. You've got to work hard and just keep believing, I suppose. On
a bad round, how hard is it to hide the anger and not throw the clubs around?
Very difficult. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people who does like to have a little bit of a so-called head off at times, but I'm trying to control it, and it's difficult because you want to do well. Obviously, everyone wants to play well, and if you're not playing how you think you should be playing, then it's hard to sort of control that anger. But you've got to do it. You've got to sort of keep it locked in a way, I suppose, and try and deal with it the best you can.
England's very well positioned suddenly in golf, isn't it? Big names playing well.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, you've just got to look at the top 20 in the world. I think we've got about 3 or 4 guys up there now. So it's Luke obviously being number 1. Just shows that we can do it and we can produce, you know, the calibre of player it takes to be world number 1.
What is your dream 4-ball?
Oh, good question. Probably Tiger Woods, Eva Mendes, and I'll just play a 3-ball.
That's a good one. Rhys Davies was a special guest that Tea Time brought to you right from the heart of his hometown in Wales. This time on his trip to Delhi, he talks about Indian food, what gets him happy about Delhi winters, and whether or not he's able to drive well on Indian courses.
It's good to be back. I was here a couple of years ago in Delhi and on this golf course. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's good to be back. It's quite cold this morning, but it's warmed up a little bit now. And yeah, I played quite nicely, so I'm happy enough with things.
How do you think golf is sort of shaping at this 2012 year at the moment? Because for yourself, where you have come from, and the whole story of the butter putter and Rhys Davies, where do you stand with your game this year?
I'm playing well. I'm not quite getting the scores I feel I deserve at the moment, but the game's in good shape. I'm hitting a lot of good shots. I seem to be driving the ball really well. I'm putting well without quite holding as many as I would like. I hold a few today, which is nice, so hopefully I can get the ball rolling this weekend.
This year, in terms of building your own timetable, what have you picked as the key events, the marquee events that you're going to be part of?
I think, to be honest, I try and treat every tournament the same. I don't try and approach any too different. Every event I play in, I give 100%, and I try and compete and try and win the tournament. So it's no different here in Delhi, and it'll be no different later on in the season in Europe. So yeah, hopefully I can compete this week. What's
been the turning point in your game, you think?
My long game's improving all the time. I'm starting to drive the ball in the fairway a lot more often, and that's useful, especially on a course like this, which can be quite narrow. So yeah, my drive is coming along a lot, and if I can back that up with some good elements in my short game, then I can do well.
How's it been catching up with some of the Indian players? I noticed you were paired with Shiv, plus of course you do meet many of these otherwise. How do you think their games are shaping, and are they really getting there?
Yeah, I've known Shiv for quite a few years, and he's a good friend of mine, so it was nice to be out there and have some good conversation on the way around today. He himself looked like he's playing quite well. A few shots were off occasionally, but for the most part his game looks pretty good. And there's a lot of Indian players here this week, and they've seemed to, every year there's more and more competing at the top of the leaderboard, so it shows that the game of golf in India is constantly improving and younger players are getting better, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some more contending this week.
We're going to slip into a short break. This is Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. Plenty of other stars from the golfing season are coming up.
We're very lucky to have so many big tournaments around the world. The Olympics could only help. I don't think it'll take anything away from the other major tournaments, though.